For cats, the elbow slightly juts out, like opposite of where the paw is. So it's like that. Hind paws if they're sitting, because if they're standing, it is like so much different. I just do that because it's easier and it looks relatively decent. So yeah. And by the way, my sketching style for this one is very sloppy and not very it's not like overly detailed, but it's not like you don't know what's going on. Like you pretty much know what's going on. Okay, so once you know that, once you have the pose, you want to set the face. So basically you want it looking that way, which is not what it would look like. Or do you want it looking forward? Or do you want it looking that way? Like basically use the cross. It is so helpful for people beginning. Yeah. Basically I want her looking like at you but not facing you. So I would do the downward one first, like that's the thing splitting the eyes, and that's the one that's going to contain the nose. And like that. Basically, eyes go in the top two quadrants, and the nose usually goes up here, but since it's a cat, it would go slightly lower. Some people draw muzzles. I don't. I feel like they're overkill. I don't know. They just look sloppy to me. Like if I do it, like if someone else does it, then it looks good. But yeah, so I zoom in using the zoom button, and I can angle it, which is awesome too. So basically, I just draw like the outlines of the eyes. And then I draw like a little slit, like for the outside of the iris. And then I draw like a U in the middle for the pupil. And then I check, and it's like, okay, she doesn't look like she's looking at me, she looks like she's looking backwards. I would adjust it, because eyes are very important to me. If you ever saw my eye tutorial for Suit, and the nose would be over here. Yeah. Yeah, so once you have the face outlined, what I do is for the side little furry thingies that I do, it's just this. It's basically that. It's like an M, a sideways M. It's nothing too complicated. It's not like tons of fur, which is, I don't know. It's good for some characters. I don't like it much. And the crescent of the M, it usually goes where this, like the bottom of the eye line is, but sometimes it goes above it. It depends on what the angle of the face is, and blah blah blah. Yeah, so I don't actually use the whole circle. I pretty much cut it off. I do that. Like instead of this, I do this. If that makes any, like it's not, the ears aren't in front of like the forehead. They're behind it. So yeah, for ears, I just do ears. They're triangle. They're cute. No, they're not. That sounds arrogant, but really, they're like, if a 3-year-old does it, I do the little triangles on the inside, because doing this, I don't know, it didn't look in the style that I was drawing in previously. So yeah, a lot of people ask me how I do fur. Honestly, I don't like plan out. I'm not gonna be like, okay, this one's gonna be big, this one's gonna be like, I don't. I just draw it. I don't know how to explain it. I just do little tufts of fur. Just like, they're not uber amazing or anything. They're just like that. And if you can't see it over the sketch, you can just like use a darker color. Because honestly, you can do whatever you want. You're drawing. Who cares? And just select color. And yeah, so once you have the chest fur, which is what I usually do, I'm gonna actually move this lower. Yeah. So yeah. You're basically at this point you're outlining where your cat's pretty much gonna be. Some people I've seen do like this line for like the spine and the tail to make sure that they have it off the spine, which I think is I don't know, it's smart. It works for some people. It works for me sometimes, but it looks meh. So yeah, for this I'm gonna use the darker color. And cats, unlike canines they go like this. Cats, they're pretty much like that, in my opinion. So the hinds, the shoulder blades and the hinds sort of jut out, and then the conjoining bodies like between them, and it's not above them. It's not like this, which is just like an obese cat. Unless it's, yeah, it's, no. There's pretty much nothing else you can do about that. So yeah, and now for your, since you have your back done, you outline this. This is, there's like a muscle here. It'll have like a indent. Like it's not just gonna be this. Like there's going to be outlines. You pretty much want to interpret where anything else is going to be. Like that'll be there because of the shoulder blade. And since there is an elbow jutting out, which I do the little M thing again for a little touch of fur, I would do that and not just like, some people do that, but it looks too bony to me. So yeah, and then for paws, I just do 3. Sometimes I don't even do any. I just do 2, like this one. But if it's sideways, I usually just do 2. And I just can join them. You wanna, if you've, Shadow, I know, since this is for you, I'm just gonna talk to you. Yay. Basically, you know that from drawing Polly enough that a foot isn't just going to be like this. It's going to have a paw pad. It's going to have a, not a stage. I don't want to say stage. What? My sister called me. Yeah, so it's not going to be immediately sliding into the leg. So yeah, I just take it down. And since that is like uber thin and I hate it, I can change it. Oh my god, you can change things? What? Yeah, drawing. Awesome. That looks slightly more bearable. Okay, so yeah. And now I'm changing this because it's following me. I do the other paw. Since this paw is like pretty much on the other paw, I overlap it. Darker color, more darker colors, I can actually see it. I'd overlap it, which you can do because this isn't your final thing. Oh my god. Yeah. You pretty much want to like imagine what the cat or the animal in any case would be doing, which is like the paw wouldn't just be over it, it would have a ridge because it is a different level of the ground. So yeah, that's a thing. And you just pretty much do what you do over here. You outline it, and even though I didn't like put the elbow there, I'm pretty sure it would be around here. Just like, it looks terrible. Let's see here. Sometimes I don't like sketching because it makes you do things like this. And it's just like blah. But for you, Shadow, so I'll do it for you. Yeah. To show like different levels, I either shade, which is my preference, or I do these like little for just things. You'll see that on boxes. This is looking. I don't like this so far. Okay, I think that looks slightly better. Also, cats aren't anorexic. This is going to be a lot lower. And cats are actually pretty. They're fluffy. They're fluffy. I don't feel good. This is like their. Yeah, so basically, I know a lot of people like have trouble like doing the chest here, and then their belly's up here, or their belly's down there. Look, all you have to do is I would go on another layer so it doesn't interfere with all this, and I would extend a line, except I would use different strokes. That way you know where it is, you know where it's going to be, so that you don't have to guess and keep changing it. Yeah, so outline the hind here once you have the belly, and I would just outline the foot again. Which, by the way, it comes up, it's not just like there and goes like that. It comes up before it goes like that. And sometimes I'll even add fur, because some cats are furry. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna ignore the other leg for right now. I want to do the tail. This, I would do the same thing, like go under different layers, so you can just be like, okay, that's fine. For tails, I just do that. Like, honestly, I don't put much effort into tails unless it's like Soleil's tail or Mene's, because yeah. And then I just do like the fur thingy and just do random strokes. Sometimes I don't even do that. I'm just like, whatever, wing it. Yeah. So yeah, you have a cat. If you want to do the other paw, which I would suggest because you can see that, and it's like it's not a three-legged cat. I just do this. I just mirror this, but I don't draw any other hind paws. Like the toes. Excuse me. The toes. If this will cooperate with me. Like I just do the outline. Okay.